All right, welcome everybody. I missed last week. We had some stuff going. Um, Wasn't able to get to the live like I usually try to do every Friday. But we're back. But I'm back. Um, and I got some stuff I wanted to talk about and share with you a little bit. Remember these discussions that I'm doing on Friday? The live ones are really just kind of stuff that I've been thinking about during the week, and it's just kind of open discussion, right? It's just talking. There's not real specific point to it. There's not something that I'm trying to get accomplished. It's just talking. It's just talking a little bit. But there are a few things I want to talk about. There's some stuff that came up with this week and saw this week and thought about this week that I thought might help you guys out a little. So that's what I want to do. So the first thing I wanna share though is I made a post earlier this week, but I have a new book coming out. I'm not sure exactly when the date is. I don't have a specific date when it's gonna launch. As soon as that happens, I'll let you all know. It's in the editing process right now. So I started writing last fall, and got it done. Got the first draft of it done, and sent it off. So it's in the process of getting editing, and I don't know exactly how long that's going to take, but whenever it's done, it's done. And getting some work on a book cover at the moment, so it's super exciting. The book is called Awakening Your Taste, a journey into the art of healthy eating, right? And so I'll talk a little bit about that, and as we get a little closer to actually releasing the book, I'll do some more things with it. Okay, I'll start to give you guys some more insights on what's actually in the book. I'll go through some of the chapters with you, share some of the stuff that's in there, and things like that. There should be an audiobook coming with it as well, so there's a lot of cool stuff. But really, this book is it's about shifting your perspective, right? It's about shifting your perspective, and instead of using all of your energy or a large portion of your energy looking in that direction, looking outside, right? We start to shift that energy and shift that attention and start to look inside in terms of health, right? So there's going to be there's recipes in there. There's a whole section about food in there, but there's also a section about starting to be able to understand really what's going on within this body, within the mind and the body and food, and how all these things are playing together to ultimately yield health, right? We're ultimately seeking health or balance or whatever we want to call that. We want to feel good, right? We want to feel good. And so this book is my way of explaining how that works. And it's in a simple way of explaining how you don't always need to go reach outside and fix the outside situations to make the inside situation feel good, right? Because ultimately, as long as the inside situation feels good, that's all that matters. Doesn't matter if some crazy's going on the outside, right? If you feel wonderful on the inside and you feel well on the inside, that's all that matters, because that's the experience of your life. So I'm super excited. And I actually have a follow-up book in the process. I got the outline done, and I'm going to start writing it soon. And it's kind of following up in terms of stress, right? So you've heard me talk about food and dieting and stuff like that, and you've also heard me talk about stress. So this is kind of a follow-up in that, in really a deep dive into stress, how stress happens, how we can eliminate stress, not just manage stress, how stress is connected with food, how all of these things are playing together. Because as much as we want to isolate things, right? And I'll talk about that a little bit today, just that scientific mind, that mind of, it's the intellect part of our mind that wants to isolate and break things apart and study those individual parts, okay? And we think that if we understand the workings of the individual part, we can understand all of the parts as they're put together as a whole. And sometimes that works, but sometimes it doesn't. Okay, for some things, especially the human system, it doesn't work that way. So it's about looking at stress like that and starting to understand how all of these pieces are playing together: the mind, the body, food, stress, your attachments, all of these things, everything that's playing together in what we call our life, this drama that we're calling our life, right? How all that stuff is playing together, and how we can start to use those things and manipulate those things and address certain things to be as healthy and as balanced and as well and as joyful and as happy as we can be. So that's what those are. And actually, in the second book, I'm super excited about this part of it. So I have an outline done, and I have a direction that I want to go with it, but I want to do something special because it has to do with stress, and because everybody Okay, 99.999% of people deal with stress on a daily basis, right? So stress is something it's near and dear. It's the wrong phrase there, but it's connected with all of us, and we all experience it on a daily basis, or pretty close to that, right? And so it's very real for us. And so what I want to do when the time comes, and as we get a little closer to that book going, I'm going to end up creating kind of like a group of people that want to be involved in that process, in the writing process of it. They don't actually have to write, but I want input from you guys. Okay, I want input because I want a section of the book or a part of the book to directly address the stresses that people have on a daily basis and how to actually fix them. Not just theory about stress and not just like these general practices about stress, but what stresses are you guys feeling on a daily basis? What stresses would you like out of your life the most? Right? So I'm gonna get a group of people together, and if you're interested in that stuff, let me know, because I'm gonna get some people together and do some meetings with them, do some Zoom stuff with them to get input from people about what are those specific stresses and what things about stress would they like addressed or answered the most. And that's what I'm gonna put in a certain section of the book. So it kind of gets very practical. Okay, and so I'm super excited about that part as well. So that's all coming down. But actually, the point of today's talk is I wanted to talk a little bit about dieting again, in this cycle of dieting. In this cycle of dieting, I've been becoming much more aware of this recently, as I'm doing some research and looking around and seeing what people are searching up and getting more involved in the dieting aspect of things. I can start to see patterns of what people are desiring or searching or trying to get, okay, in terms of the dieting world, right? And it's I don't even know the right word for that. It's understandable and it's logical and it makes sense of this path that we go. But then there's also a part in there where it would make sense to start to break off of that when something doesn't work. But a lot of people continue. Okay, so it's this cycle that I want to talk about, and I kind of had to step out of this cycle of dieting, and to be able to reach your maximum potential of health, if you want to call it that, right? Maximum design. Your body is designed in a certain way, and how to reach the maximum potential of that. And so that's kind of in general what I want to talk about. And who knows where this conversation will go. I'll probably think of things as I'm going, and that's how kind of it works. But anyway, so dieting. Like, one of the fundamental things I think about when dieting is the desire behind it, right? Because nothing can happen without a certain amount of desire, right? You have to have a certain amount of desire to actually do things in the world, to get up, to get out of your bed, to go to work, to make a video, to write a book, to make dinner, to dress your kids, whatever it may be. There has to be desire that's pushing the action. Desire is pushing the action, right? And so I sit and kind of think about the desire of dieting. What's the desire? Because dieting, to me, diet is what you eat the majority of the time, okay? And I know dieting in general, people think about restrictive diets, people think about mainstream diets, keto, paleo, Mediterranean, vegan, Whole30, Atkins, whatever, right? There's 1,000 different diets out there. People think of dieting as this structured way of eating, right? It's a way of eating that has been structured or has been specifically put together to achieve a certain result in the body. Because really, think about it this way, you guys. Food is about the body, and you can build your body in any way you want to build it. And so depending on how you want to build your body, depending on how you're going to use your body, okay, in this life, you build it accordingly, right? You build it accordingly, and you use the materials or the food to build it accordingly. If you want to be a bodybuilder and lift as much weight as you can, you're obviously going to eat different foods than somebody that wants to be an endurance runner. If you want to be a swimmer, you're probably going to eat different things than somebody that is going to be a mountain climber. Depending on what you want to do with your body, if you're going to be a meditator, right? If you're going to do whatever, depending on what you are going to use your body for, you can eat accordingly and you can build the body in a way that best suits what you're trying to do in this life, what you're trying to use your body for, okay? But foundationally, even if you don't even know what you want to use your body for, most people just want it to be healthy. This body's like a house, right? You just want it to be healthy. You want it to be well. You don't want it to break. You don't want it to leak. You don't want it to be sick. You don't want it to be diseased. You want to be able to be in here and enjoy this house that you're living in. You don't want it to be constantly paining you and hurting you the entire time. Makes it a miserable place to live, right? So back to this thing with dieting and this desire. I did a little bit of research and I was trying to find out what are the desires that are pushing people with dieting to go on a specific diet, to change how they eat on a regular basis, to change how you're eating on a regular basis, which is your diet, but to change that and alter that and start eating in a different way, right? To take that amount of time and energy and money, right, and attention, and to change that to go in a different direction, there has to be a desire pushing that. If there was no desire, then that change wouldn't happen. You wouldn't even think about the change. The change wouldn't even occur, that there was a need for a change. And so two of the main desires that people have that are pushing these actions to go on a diet or to change how they eat are weight loss and heart health. Those are the two main ones. Weight loss and heart health are the two main desires that people have expressed that push their wanting or their desire to start eating differently than they normally do. Okay? There's a lot of other desires in there. Aesthetics, I want to look a little bit better. I want to fit in a swimsuit. I'm going to get married. I'm going to have pictures, whatever. You had a high school reunion. Like there's a zillion ways. Like you want your blood pressure down. You don't want to take medication anymore. There's a million different reasons that people that are the desires that people have to make changes, and especially in the realm of eating, right? But it's not the desire that's wrong. There's nothing wrong about that. So the desire starts to push us, right? This desire pushes us from inside, and we're like, okay, we need to do this. We need to make this happen. And we start, and this desire is pushing, and it's turning into action, and we're taking action because of this desire. And if this desire is strong enough, and if it's hot enough, okay, and if it's burning enough, those changes happen fast, and they stay and they stick. But if that desire isn't very strong, and if it's a weak little fire, a little flame, burns out quite easily, right? And you don't continue the action. So the desire is not the wrong thing, right? There's nothing wrong with that. The thing we have to start to look at is the action. Okay, the action or the direction that we go when we're trying to change how we eat, right? So when we start eating differently, right? The whole point is to get a certain result. If you want your body to be in a certain way, if you want to lose 20 pounds, the whole point of dieting is to lose the 20 pounds, if that's whatever your desire is. And understand, you guys, desires can be in many different levels. Most of the time, desires start off very surface level. I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to be able to fit into my pants again. I want to do whatever. Diets usually start on the surface level. And as you continue to go, and as you continue to experience the processes of achieving those desires and getting in those desires, the desires change. When you reach that, if you want to call it a goal, right? You desire to lose 20 pounds. When you lost 20 pounds, you don't just kick back and say, boom, I'm good. Life's good. I'm done now. You know that's not how that works. Okay? Then another desire comes, right? And usually these desires start to go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper within you. But a lot of times they just start off on the surface level, which is totally fine. It's totally fine. So these desires are pushing, right? These desires are pushing us, and then we're taking action, right? We're taking action, and we're trying to understand and learn, okay, I'm going to try this diet and see how it works for me. See if it gets the results that I want. See if I can sustain it for a long period of time. If I can, if that doesn't work for me, I'm going to drop it. I'm going to try something else, right? Maybe this one will work for me, right? And so we go through this process. This is where this dieting cycle comes in. Most people go on this process of dieting, right? They want some kind of change. They have some kind of desire. They don't know what to do, so they seek. You seek knowledge from somebody that's done it before, or somebody that's an expert in that field. And so you seek and you say, okay, that person sounds like they know what they're talking about, and it makes sense to me. It makes sense, so I'm going to try it. So you try it. Atkins diet, keto diet, whatever it may be. You try it, okay? And you go through it, and it takes time, and it takes energy, and it takes effort, right? Results start to come. Maybe they don't come right away, whatever it may be. But you start going through that. And then you start to see the results. Are the results what you want, right? And if they are what you want, wonderful. And if they're not what you want, you usually, okay, this isn't working for me. Let me try something else. And there's this constant seeking or desiring to achieve that thing, to get that desire, whatever that may be, okay? So the problem comes in this. The average person, and I've said this before, the average person will go on 126 diets in their life. Now, 126 diets in their life, the average person. Most of those diets last about 1 to 3 months before they're abandoned. When we talk about weight loss, almost 75% of the people that go on diets because of weight loss regain the weight back that they initially lost plus some. So to me, when I look at this, try to look at it objectively a little bit and say, if the average person goes on 126 diets in their life, something is not working. Something about the external mainstream diet is not working. It's not working. Okay? And I know there's an interaction between what's going on within you and then the diet and how all that stuff is playing together. But something about that's not working, right? If you try something, even if we don't even talk about 126 times, what if we talk about 50 times? Talk about half that, 60 times, right? So you say you go on 60 different diets in your life. After you go on about 5 and they're not working, I would say we need to go in a different direction. If you tried something 5 different times and it's not achieving what you want, you got to start thinking outside the box. You got to start going in a different direction, not just trying more of the same variations of the same thing. This time I'm going to try a carb diet. This time I'm going to try a Mediterranean diet. We got to start going in different direction. We got to look and start putting your attentions in a completely different direction. If you actually want the results, the desire, right? If you want that desire to be achieved. Because to me, after you do something a few times and it's not working, it's not that you don't stop trying. You just have to start opening your mind a little bit and looking in different avenues. Okay? 126 diets. That's telling me you're doing over and over and over and over and over again and still not getting the results. Because if you would have gotten the results that you wanted, if you would have created that system within yourself and you would have achieved those results that you wanted, then there would be no need to go on a different diet. There wouldn't be. This one works for you, you do it, boom. That's it, right? And so there's this dieting cycle. I really am focusing and in wanting to help people that are going through that to step out of that. Okay? That doesn't mean don't diet. It's not what I'm saying at all. It doesn't mean don't diet. I mean, after you get to the point where you know that these external diets, these mainstream diets are not going to do it for you long term, that's when I come in. That's when I say, hey, there's another way. There's another way that is long term. There's another way that is long term. Okay? But first, you got to go through those other ones. Most of the time, people have to go through those other ones to realize that that's not what they want. That's not what's going to achieve it for them. But the thing too with that is that I've noticed is people want a quick fix. Just being completely honest, right? People want a quick fix to things. People want instant. People want a quick fix. I want to learn how to lose 50 pounds in a week. I want to be able to take a pill that's going to make me lose 50 pounds. People want a quick fix. But if you can step back, right? If we're getting these little quick fixes, and we step back and you can see this from a bigger perspective, you can see all those quick fixes add up to 126 different diets. They're not a quick fix. It's a lifelong cycle of quick fixes, which is not a quick fix. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. Okay? So how do we step out of that? Right? How do we step out of it? First of all, before I kind of talk about how we can step out of that, I want to relate it to something, because I know sometimes when I talk about things like this, people can take things in different ways than which were intended, which is fine. But I want to try to clarify this. I want to tell you a story and try to clarify this, what I'm talking about. So your body's like a house. I've said this before, right? Your body's like a house. And just like with any house, if you're just building your dream house, your house needs an engineers, architects, construction workers of varying different skill sets and degrees, right? Electricians, plumbers, concrete workers, finishers, roofers, everything, right? They need a variety of different people to actually build the house, and not only build it, but maintain it when things break, right? You need this. You need this in a house. They're the skilled ones. They know what they're doing. They're on the ground level. Okay, they're actually involved in the process of building the house, and they know what's going on. They know the ins and outs of the house building process, not just the house building process, your house building process. That's the same way with your body, you guys. You have a design. Okay, there's a design. There's an architect and a design that's designed this thing, right? But on a ground level, there's cells in your body. There's tons of different construction workers within you right now that are responsible for the building and the maintenance of your body, whether that's breathing, whether that's digestion, whether that's your immune system, whether that's whatever it may be. There's a construction crew and a maintenance crew within you right now that is on the ground level. They know the ins and outs of your house. Okay? Got it? So, if you were going to build your dream house, right? Would you go, and if you're going to build your dream house, right? We're going to assume that you don't know how to actually build the house. You hired all these people. These people know what they're doing. All you have to do is like bring them the materials, right? You just got to be like, okay, here's all the materials you need. You do the house. You do it, right? So if you're in charge of the materials, are you going to go, to build your dream house, are you going to go ask the first person on the street, hey, what materials should I get to build my house? Can you give me a materials list to build my dream house so it's perfect? Of course you wouldn't do that. You don't even know if the person on the street has any idea about building houses, right? You're not going to ask that. Okay? So the next thing that you might do is you might say, okay, I have no idea what these materials are. I'm not going to ask this random guy in the street because I don't know even if he has qualifications. I don't even know what he knows about building houses. Let me research and let me find somebody who's an expert in building houses. Let me ask them, right? That's logical. I'm going to ask somebody that has actually built houses before what materials I need to build my house. So that you do some research, right? And you call up these different contractors. You call contractor A, he's, whatever, he's out there, and you call him up. Hey, can I have an exact materials list for building my house? And you ask them. Do you think they're going to give you an exact materials list? Well, they could probably give you a better one, right? If you're asking somebody that actually builds houses, they're probably going to be able to give you a much more detailed list than Joe Schmo on the street over here can give you, right? But you have to understand that if you call somebody, some contractor out there that's never seen the blueprints of your house, that is not involved in the building of your house on a day-to-day basis, they can give you some advice. They can give you some materials. But they are not going to give you the detailed materials list. Why? Because they're not involved in the day-to-day process of building your house. They don't know the ins and outs of your house. They don't. Okay, so that's like this. That's like when you're dieting and you're going to build the house and the food is the materials, right? You're not going to go, and if you want to build this, you want to make this house, you want to repair it, you want to build it, you want it to be as strong as possible. You're not just going to go ask some random person on the street, hey, what should I eat? What should I eat to make this a wonderful body? No, you're not going to do that, right? You want some more qualifications, right? So what are you going to do next? You're going to ask a personal trainer. You're going to ask a nutritionist. You're going to ask a dietitian. You're going to ask somebody. You're going to watch some videos. You're going to seek out information from somebody that's done it before. That's just like the contractors, you guys. And the wonderful part is this. Those dietitians, nutritionists, personal trainers, all of those people, yes, they are going to give you a much better list. They're going to give you much more advice on what you should be eating to make this a healthy body. They are. Okay, that's like that. You got the Joe Schmo on the street. Now you're going to level up and you're going to go to somebody that's actually done it before. Okay, this is where the dieting comes in. They're probably going to give you a diet plan. They're going to give you a meal plan. Okay, that's where that comes in, that external dieting. Okay, you're asking people and you're seeking that information from somebody that's done it before. But do you think, just like a general contractor out there, do you think that dietitian, that nutritionist, that personal trainer, whoever that may be, the person in the blog, the person doing the stuff, do you think they know your body in and out? Do you think they know the details that are going on in your body on a moment-to-moment basis on the chemical level? No, they don't. So they can give you advice and they can give you some basic understandings, but they cannot tell you exactly what you need, what your body needs at any moment in time, because they're not involved in the process. Your own mind is not even involved in the process, right? So let's take, here's the example with it, right? To roll with that. Let's take digestion, simple digestion, right? Let's take digestion. The process of digestion, right? The body has to go through, breaking food down. It's actually the transformation. Your body's transforming a banana or whatever you eat into human body. It's the energy and it's the building blocks and it's the chemicals and it's breaking that raw material down. It's taking the tree, right? And it's cutting it up into all the pieces of wood to build your house, the exact pieces it needs to build the walls in your house. It's going through that process, right? So when you go through that, when that digestion process is happening, is your thought process, right? And in your mind, are you consciously aware of everything that is going on the chemical level of digestion on a moment-to-moment basis? No, you're not. Your mind isn't even thinking about that. What's in charge of digestion? The body. The body, the cells in the body. The body is in charge of digestion. The body is doing the digestion. The body is building the house. Your mind is not building the house. That nutritionist is not building your house. That personal trainer is not building your house. You are building your house. Your body is building itself. Your body is building your house. Your body is at ground level. Your body is doing the work. Your body knows the ins and outs of itself because it is there. When you're awake, when you're asleep, when you're paying attention, when you're not paying attention, it is there 24/7. It is there. So what does this mean? This means, okay, we're going right here. We're going from asking Joe Schmo about eating. We're not going to ask him, right? So then we're going to do our own research and we're going to level up. And we're going to get healthier, and we're asking somebody that's done it before. We're asking nutritionists, dietitians, we're reading books, we're watching videos, we're taking classes, right? We're doing this thing here. And we've leveled up a little bit. But eventually that plateaus out. That leveling up plateaus out. Why does it plateau out? Because your body is constantly changing. Your body is constantly changing. And you can never, ever, 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 ever expect a structured diet, a structured diet to fit and to accommodate the constant flexing and moving of your own body and the needs of your body. What you need right now may change by noon. What you need right now, if you eat something right now, what you need, depending on your activity and your emotions and your stress and everything throughout the day, what you might need for dinner would be completely different than what a meal plan says that you should eat for dinner. Okay? And so And so these external diets and these food meal plans and things like that, they're not bad. They're great starting points. They're foundation builders. They're wonderful. But eventually, that's where the dieting cycle comes in, if you're following me. Okay, that's where the dieting cycle comes in, because we plateau on that. We get something from the outside, it works for a little bit, and we plateau. Why do we plateau? Because the body is constantly changing, and you're using a fixed diet. They don't work. They don't work long term. A fixed diet will not work for the constant changes that are going on in your body. That's why to level up again, to take that final leveling up step that you need for long-term health, for the entirety of your life, that is why, and to step out of that dieting cycle, that is why we have to start, instead of asking the dietitian and the nutritionist and the external, the contractor out there that's not building your house, instead of asking them what is good for your body, you need to ask the ones that are actually building the house. You need to start asking and paying attention to the ones that are building the house. They know what you need on a chemical level. Why? Because they're there. They're the ones that are involved. They're the ones that are doing the digestion. They're the ones that are building the house. They're the ones that are in charge of maintenance and repair and the immune system. You have to ask your body. You have to pay attention to your own body. That's how you level up to the final step. That's how you step out of the dieting cycle of the external things, and you level up, and you start to realize, and you start to understand and be able to comprehend what your body needs at any given moment. Not what somebody else tells you that your body should need, what your body actually needs. And when you start down that path, that's when you step out of the dieting cycle. That's when you're not restricted. That's when you can sense and you can know and you can listen and you can understand what your body actually needs on a moment-to-moment basis. That's when you give it what it needs. And that's when health, it skyrockets. That's when it takes it to the levels that you may have never experienced before. Okay? You have to ask the people you have to actually ask this. Okay. And there's a trick to that. There's actually a trick to that, right? There's a little bit of attention that needs to be paid to this. Okay? And I've told you this before. The body is speaking to you. It's actually trying to tell you, hey, I need this, I need this, I need this. Right? But the problem is the body doesn't speak in words. The body, and definitely the body doesn't speak in English. For all the people that think the body should be speaking in English, right? The body doesn't speak in words, definitely doesn't speak in English. It speaks in sensations. It speaks in chemical sensations. The body is chemistry. The physical body is a chemical soup. It is chemistry. It is changes in chemicals. When we feel things, happiness, joy, sickness, when we feel anger, when we feel frustration, right? When you drink alcohol and you feel that. Take painkillers and you feel that, right? You feel the chemical change in your body. That's what you're feeling. You're feeling the chemical sensations. Your body speaks in chemicals. It speaks in chemical sensations. We call those feelings, right? We're going to attach those and we're going to say, this is what I feel, and I'm going to call it anger. Okay, and that's a feeling, right? So your body speaks in these. And when we talk about food, the body is speaking to you in the same way, in that same language of chemistry. But we're calling it cravings. Your body's actually speaking to you in cravings. It's telling you, hey, I need this, I need this, I need this. There's a system in place for your body, for the physical body to tell the mind, hey, I need this. This is what I need to go in because I need to fix what's going on in here. These are the materials, okay? The wall's broken right here. I need these exact materials to build the wall, to rebuild the wall. Give me those materials. It's got that system already in place. There's just a problem. There's a problem. There's a miscommunication. There's a lack of understanding of the language, right? Most people aren't able to truly decipher what the body's actually saying. And that does take some effort. That's why I have the classes. That's why I have a class called Awakening Your Taste. It's a foundational class of understanding how to actually understand and decipher your cravings. Because it's not as simple as, saying, oh, my body is craving something. It's craving chocolate. I better just go eat as much chocolate as I can because that's what it really needs. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. Okay, your cravings are alerting you to what foods you should be eating and what foods the body actually needs. But the cravings, being able to understand what your cravings are actually telling you, takes a little bit more of attention and more understanding of your own personal body and what food is and how that interaction goes, okay? But that's really it. That's the point of that, is like to step out of that dieting cycle to level up again. You got to start asking your own body and listening, and stop asking when you get to that point. I'm not saying never, right? Go on diets, do those different things. But when you know that plateau is coming, instead of plateauing for the rest of your life and going on a different diet, plateau, different diet, plateau, different diet, plateau. Instead of doing that, okay, do that for a little bit. And when that desire comes enough, when that desire is strong enough and you're like, I don't want to plateau anymore. I don't like this dieting cycle. I'm spending too much time, too much money, too much energy to go and have success and then failure, success and failure in this cycle and cycle and cycle. And when that desire becomes strong enough to not do that anymore, that's when you level up again. And that's when you learn how to actually listen to your own body. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. And why am I saying that? Because I don't like to see people going through the same cycle over and over and over again. I don't like to see people, spend a lifetime going on diet after diet after diet and not experiencing the success and not experiencing the achievement of those desires that they want. And they're trying hard. People try hard to go on that many diets over and over and over again, and knowing the last one failed and trying this next one, that's hard. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy, and that desire is there. It's burning. It's going. But the process, the process is not achieving the results that you want. So I just want to be there and available to those people that are at that point, that are at that plateau point. They're like, I've done this forever, and I'm still not where I want to be. And I don't know what else to do. So all I can do is keep trying another diet. Maybe this one will work. That's not how it works. Okay. But I want to be there for you. And that's why I'm talking about this. Okay. And actually the last thing I kind of wanted to mention with that, even though I have talked a lot about the dieting thing here, is the piece that I always talk about with stress. Okay. And I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of it today, but just know there's more than just the food. Okay. Health is there's more to health than just food in the physical body. That's a part of it. It's a big part of it. Okay. It's a foundational part. It's a big part. But your feelings and your emotions and your stress, okay, are another part. You can have the perfect diet. Okay. But if you're stressed, if you're constantly stressed, what that stress will do in your system will cripple that diet. It will cripple it, and it will make it so ineffective that you are actually unhealthy, even by eating a wonderfully healthy, perfect diet, right? Your stress will cripple that, and it will make it ineffective, and you will actually be, you won't feel the benefits. You won't experience the benefits of what that healthy diet could do for you, because the stress is crippling that. And so part of this as well is not only understanding and starting to listen to your body and knowing what food your body actually needs, but it's that other part that comes in there with stress, and it's starting to understand how to get rid of stress, not just management, but get rid of it, and finding the source of your stress. And when you start to eliminate that stress, and at the same time you're starting to listen to your body and give it exactly what it needs, your body becomes a springboard. It doesn't weigh you down. It's not that anchor anymore. It's not drag. You're not going through life and the body's holding you back and dragging you behind, right? The body's a springboard. It's a platform, and you can start doing all things that you want to do. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. That kind of wraps it up for this week. I was thinking about that a lot though. I was thinking a lot about that cycling and stuff, and how to get people. We got to level up, right? We got to level up. We got to stop. We start here, right? And most people go that first level. They go that first level, and they start asking other people, which is exactly what you want to do. You want to seek out. You want to become more skillful at eating, and you want to start to do your own experiments of, when I eat this is what happens to my body, right? Get that living experience for you. But then once you get there, okay, eventually when you plateau, you have to know how to level up next. You have to be able to know how to get to the next level. And a lot of people don't even know that there is a next level, but you have to be able to know that there's that next level, and to be able to level up. And that's when you can get that lifelong. That's when you can get the lifelong health. That's when you can stop dieting, mainstream dieting, and you can experience that health lifelong because you're creating your own diet on a daily basis. You're giving your body what it needs on a daily basis based on your activity, based on your stress, based on your emotions, based on everything else that's going on in your life. And that's how you match that food. And that's how you build that body or build that house that is healthy, that is well, and that's a wonderful place to be in. Thank you guys very much. If you have any questions, let me know. You can just put them in the comments and I'll answer them the best I can. Don't forget, if you want to check out some of the classes, some of the free guides, some of the free trainings I have, you can check out the Carya YouTube channel, or you can check out the website, my website, www.caryarising.com. I have the link right in there for you. You can check some of the classes out. And if you have any other questions about any of that stuff, let me know. Thank you guys very much. Have a wonderful day.